Okay, thank you for your joys and concerns. Now, let's take a few moments for silent and individual prayer as the music plays. Oh, whew. This is my couch behind the pulpit. When I'm sitting in my couch during the service, like during Joy's silent individual prayer or the choir anthem, no one can see what I'm doing back here. So I guess the big question is, what do I do when I'm sitting on this couch behind the pulpit? Well, I actually asked a bunch of people that very question, and I came up with a list of the top 5 answers of what I do when I'm sitting back here. So listen to this. Answer number 5 was, I start to write my sermon that I'm about to preach momentarily. Yeah, that would be interesting. Number 4 is I take a power nap, like my Uncle Dick used to do when we were hanging around during family holidays. He'd be on the couch, he'd wake up, like for supper, then sleep again afterwards. So do I take a power nap back here? Okay. And number 3 is I make faces at the congregation like this, like no one can see me, so I can do whatever I want back here, and I make faces at everyone, and no one can know what I'm doing because I'm completely hidden back here on the couch. Number 2 is I make a list of stuff I'm going to do after church. I'm sure you never do that during church services, make a list of things that you need to do on Sunday afternoon, or I'm sure you never think about like that roast in the oven or what you're going to do later on for a meal, or plan out your grocery list, whatever. You never do that during church, and I'm sure I never do that when I'm up here on the couch during silent individual prayer. The number 1 answer about what Pastor Chris does behind the pulpit on the couch? Yep, play Candy Crush Saga on my phone. While I'm back here, do I play Candy Crush Saga on my phone? No, I don't do any of those things when I'm back here. Not usually, at least. But you know what it says in the Bible in Colossians chapter 3, verse 23? It says, whatever you do it with all your heart, as if you were doing it for God. And I think that's a really, really good verse because it says a whole lot about how we should live our lives, not only when people can see us and people know what we're doing, but also when people can't see you and they don't know what you're doing. Do everything that you do with all your heart, as if you were doing it for God. In other words, whatever you do, be there. Be there and be all there with what you're doing. Is it relationships? Then be all you can be in the relationships in your life. Is it your job? You still work? Then do your best you can at your job. Is it your health and your fitness? Do everything you can to be the best person that you can in those respects too. And those are the big things, but even the small things, all the small things, be there for those as well and do them with all your heart. And you know what that's called? That's called integrity. And I think integrity is one of the best qualities that a person can have on this earth. So what do I really do behind the pulpit here, is sitting on this couch during silent and individual prayer? I sit quietly and I try to be in the moment. I try to listen to that still small voice inside my heart. Does my mind ever wander back here? Of course it does. I'm human. I'm like everybody else. We're always gonna, slip up here or make mistakes and at some points not do the best that we can do. That's just part of being human. We're not gonna be our best sometimes. We can't be our best all the time, but when those times happen, if it affects somebody else, ask forgiveness. If it's just something to do with you, forgive yourself. But I think the important thing is to never stop trying to do your best. Do whatever it is that you do with all your heart, as if you're doing it for God. You cannot lose if you do that. So be blessed, have a good day, hang in there, and do the best that you can.